anyone who's using ChatGPT must provide context on how you're different. And it's not through just using a prompt, because the AI is a multiplier. Bill Gates said that technology is a multiplier. It's neither good nor bad. If you suck, it's just going to multiply how you suck. So you know what the mark of a fake guru is when it comes to AI? Is their emphasis on the tool.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're right here, 1:42 a.m. in the morning with the great Dennis Yu, and we're going to chat a little bit about AI. And you know, Dennis has been in Manila for a while, and I've had some great conversation to him on AI. I just want to pick his brain, and I told Dennis there's so many AI experts all of a sudden pop out of woodwork, and everybody an AI expert these days. And you know, I asked Dennis several questions. Number one, will AI overtake copywriters? Will it mean their relationships are gone? Will it mean their content is no longer relevant? And I must say, not only has Dennis provided me with some great tools and insights, but his overarching philosophy, I think, is a reason why we're recording this podcast, because I really think what he has to share is very profound, and once he says it, it will click in your brain. It just really provides a lot of context than all these AI experts out there. So Dennis, will AI take over the world and all of us are out of a job, and what is the future?
So AI is going to eliminate jobs for people that don't use AI and the bad VAs. Because you think about the arc of technology, like we talked about with the internet. Every time there was like Microsoft Office or another tool or the copy machine or any kind of, Gmail, whatever the latest marketing automation tools, did that eliminate jobs or create jobs?
Create more jobs?
It always creates more jobs. And so AI actually will create more jobs, but it's also eliminating all the people who suck at marketing and copywriting. Why? Because if you look at a lot of the things that VAs do, or a lot of the people who run agencies, but they just mail it in, but they don't actually have the real skill, you know that ChatGPT and all these other AI tools can do a better job at writing pages. Like we just talked to a lawyer an hour ago, and we saw that the content on her page, she's actually a great lawyer in Kansas City, but the AI can write better content than she can. So what is she going to do? What is her agency going to do? And the thing that sparked this conversation was that we said, ironically, when the world can be astroturfed with lots of AI-generated content on any area of expertise, we can't be more expert than the AI. We can't beat the AI at chess, right? So instead, we have real relationships. Like Melvin and I are together right now, and we were singing karaoke, and we're hanging out. And these things are real experiences. The AI can deep fake us to make it look like we're having the conversation, but there's so many other signals, like this being recorded on my iPhone. It's showing the location, it's showing who's there, it's showing all these other things that there's always going to be signals of authenticity that are beyond what the AI can do. So think of the idea of SEO as being able to beat the lie detector test. So if I want to beat the lie detector test, and Google is assuming that I'm creating fake content, because that's what they have to do. Yep. The search engines assumes this. What can I do to show that I am not just generating thousands of web pages with ChatGPT? Well, that's why Google created EEAT. And they used to be called EAT, but they added that extra E, and you know what that E is?
Experience.
Experience. So if you are good at the thing that you say you do, in the city that you say you do it, or the area. So if you actually are an expert copywriter for real estate agents in Singapore, and you have relationships in Singapore, and you have real estate agents in Singapore, and you demonstrate that you have done copywriting and you've achieved specific results, and you have videos, you have podcasts, and you have all this kind of stuff, you can feed that into ChatGPT, and it can enhance it like an editor. And that's the correct usage of using ChatGPT. Not write a blog post about 10 different things on how do you sell a house in Singapore's difficult market, right? Any ChatGPT can write that. Any idiot can use ChatGPT to write that. Anyone who's using ChatGPT must provide the context on how you're different. And it's not through just using a prompt, as if that's a substitute for thinking. AI requires actually that you are better at thinking. Because all the low-level mechanical stuff like writing code to build a WordPress site or anything that can mechanically be done that's procedural, I let the AI do that. The AI should be doing that. So ironically, like we talked about, the big shift, if you follow this thing to its logical conclusion with AI generating lots of stuff and automation, the thing that stands out, the last thing preserved after this whole thing gets wiped away is real relationships of real people who actually get together. Like Melvin and I, we got together in Singapore years ago. And we had lunch and did all these things, and we were with Elliot Drake, who's now a very successful entrepreneur. And those are real things. And so if stuff today Donald Trump says this one thing is a deep fake. You don't really know. But if we can tie back to the real experiences that we had, posts that you made on Facebook, then we can trace that signal all the way forward. Is like almost like a blockchain of being able to show that we are authentically who we say you are. So these people who can trace back to their real experiences are the ones who are going to win in AI. It's the rich get richer, because those people will use the AI to generate even better content. And all the people who kind of like suck at what they do, I'd have to ask, what is your differentiator? Where's your authority? Where's your real experience? Because the AI is a multiplier. Bill Gates said that technology is a multiplier. It's neither good nor bad. If you suck, it's just going to multiply how you suck.
Wow. I just think, like, you mentioned a couple of things also, because it runs contrary to a lot of these so-called AI experts that we see these days, that pop out of the woodwork suddenly. And two things you mentioned, authenticity and relationships. Love for you to elaborate that, because one of the things I got from the quick conversation with you is the more AI, the more real is important. So the first key. And the second thing is, you spoke about just now the use of AI. A lot of people are just really lazy, and how AI is sold is you don't have to lift a finger, never need to work again. They just run the whole business for you. But I've seen the way you use AI, and you use it in integration with the human. So I think it's so important as a mindset, because the mindset that is so now is you don't have to do anything. You do zero, AI do 100%. So let's talk about both authenticity, relationships, and AI mindset.
Do you remember during COVID, the Peloton became this wildly popular machine? Everyone wanted to get one, right? Or maybe it was a Gym Flex, or whatever the latest like workout machine is. Yeah. So let's say you buy the latest workout machine, the Peloton. They have a treadmill, they have the bicycle, all these things, right? But you don't use it, and it sits there in your living room or your workout room. Then it doesn't matter. So I look at all these different tools, and if you don't know how to use the thing, you have a compound bow, recurve bow, but you don't know how to use the thing, doesn't matter. So the end result, which is driving sales, driving results, winning in SEO, is dependent on the expertise that you have with the tool. It's not the tool. You and I, we want to be surgeons. I'm using the most fancy scalpel. Let's say that whatever the scalpel company made, the brand new scalpel, it's even better than last year's scalpel, and you're still using last year's scalpel as a heart surgeon, but I'm using the latest scalpel. But I have done 0 surgeries. I've only watched some YouTube videos on how to do heart surgery. You're a very experienced surgeon, but you're using last year's scalpel. Who's going to win?
I'm probably going to win.
So people keep obsessing about the tool. So you know what the mark of a fake guru is when it comes to AI? Is their emphasis on the tool. The emphasis on the latest thing that changed, because what matters is your expertise. Don't talk about how cool the tool is and the latest features and it has, whatever, gigabytes on it. I didn't just talk about how strong I am. I'm going to actually lift a weight and show you I can bench press 250 pounds. That's the mark. These AI people, if they're making their money by selling the courses, I would wonder whether they actually use the thing. I can show you websites I have that have 1 million visits a month, and I'm using AI tools the right way. People who want to sell you stock trading programs on how to get rich because they have the magic software to tell you when to buy and sell. If you're making money on the stock market with what I'm just using it, for software or whatever, why are all these people selling courses and whatnot, right? Freaking give away your knowledge for free, because anyone I listen to who's giving advice on AI or whatever, if their income comes from selling courses, I immediately don't trust what they have to say. Just like all the people in internet marketing, I want to see you actually have a business and you're making 90+% of your money from that business, not from coaching and consulting.
All right. So then it's one of the most important and really interesting things is really think about the mindset you have towards using AI. I've a lot of friends and people in the industry, so they talk about this idea of using AI, never have to lift a finger, write an Amazon bestseller, write all the video scripts for you. It just sounds too easy to be true. But the way you use AI is really interesting. You feed it stuff, you use it to complete things, you use it in integration with the human. And I find that really, really interesting. It runs counter to what everyone is saying, which is you don't have to lift a finger. So you want to elaborate a bit.
So the big mistake that people are making is they're using AI for synthetic content. So synthetic content is write this blog post about whatever, or build me a website, or write me a book, or just generate something out of thin air. And Google did tell us recently when we spent some time with them in closed door sessions where we had to sign the NDAs. Right now, they're not penalizing people that are using ChatGPT, but they can detect it right now. So I said, wait, so you can detect people using ChatGPT, but you are not penalizing people? And they said, no, not yet, because the content's still helpful. And the amount of content hasn't reached the point where it's now just, but in a year from now, there's going to be so much fake content everywhere. It's not that they're creating penalties for using AI. It's that there's just so much content, they all look the same. So to your point, Melvin, you're using the AI to complete things that you've done. So for example, you and I have recorded a lot of podcasts and a lot of courses. So something I did today, I fed through one of my courses and I said, please study this course and write a quiz, 20 questions, and make sure some of the questions are like basic, make sure some of the answers are like silly, or some are, require you to think, or some can't easily be answered with ChatGPT. So I'm even asking ChatGPT, try to phrase a question in such a way that you don't think ChatGPT can answer it. But I'm taking existing content and experience, I'm taking movies and videos and pictures from my cell phone and having that be processed. So let me tell you one of my favorite SEO tips that I just started doing this week. On this cell phone, which is what this video is being recorded on, I've been using this cell phone intentionally for 10 plus years. Well, every year I upgrade, so it always goes to the new one. But I've been recording short little videos, just like when you and I were in Singapore having dinner, all of this. I've been intentionally recording this for the last 10 years, knowing that one day the AI would be able to go back to all the experiences of all the people that I've ever been with, be able to assemble stories and tell the stories in ways I would never be able to do. So if I do a search on my Google Photos for Mark Lack, it's going to show every place I've ever been with Mark Lack in the 10 years and what we've done. I can do a picture on, barbecue pork in Singapore or salt and pepper crab, and it'll show me every place I've eaten salt and pepper crab. The key here is I'm starting with real experiences. So if I wanted to write a best-selling book on the best buffets across the world, it actually could pull all that information and write that and pull the pictures together and all that. And that would be to someone else who just says, you know what, I don't know anything about food. I've never been to these Bacchanal buffet in Las Vegas. I've never been to Marriott in Dubai, which has an amazing breakfast buffet that Dan Yulin and I know about. Because I actually have the real experience, the AI can enhance that and processes.
Oh my God!
And that's a differentiator, because otherwise, if you start from no experience, then all the AIs are at the same level playing field.
Yeah.
So how do you win? You actually have the real experience and includes all the different pieces, so I can pass that lie detector test.
I just had something brilliant is you're saying that you use AI very differently, because people use it as a creator of synthetic, you use it as an amplifier of authentic, and I think that is so freaking different in like mental philosophy, because they are like, I don't care, I just want to create like fake stuff, but you are like, no, I want to take authentic stuff and I want to amplify it, and I just really think that's really critical. You have a few mindsets on using AI that I think are really critical. One is empathetic listening, which is really very curious to me. Next one is critical thinking, and it's so interesting because number one, people don't think of listening to an AI, so I'd love for you to share that. And second one is like thinking. People are like, hey, the AI will do the thinking for me, so I don't have to think. So why are these two so important?
So anytime you hear someone talking about a tool and treating the AI as a tool, they're not using it the right way. Now certainly when the Roomba is not very sophisticated, it just bumps into the furniture. Certainly in the earlier days of search, you just had a box, you type it in, and you had to type it in the right way because it didn't really understand exactly what you're looking for. When you type in New York pizza, it might not know that you want pizza in New York, that you're in New York right now and you're looking for pizza. Or you type in Subway. Are you looking for the Subway sandwich foot long, or are you looking for the Subway to be able to go to this other part of town? The AI wasn't smart enough, and it was AI back then, or machine learning to be more accurate. Now the AI is so smart, it's not about the programming and tools and technology. So it used to be, because the tools weren't as smart, we had to do a lot of the sort of manual adjustment. Now there's no need to do that. It used to be that you would use NLP and semantic indexing to be able to figure out all these technical things to try to trick the search engine, or all these tools that don't even exist anymore. But now Sam Altman, who is the godfather of the OpenAI Foundation, ChatGPT, all this, he said the programming language of 2024 is English. Thus, because all the technical barriers have been stripped away, people like me that are engineers, I was a search engine engineer 20-something years ago, the advantage I have because I write code, or I have written a lot of code, is now reduced to nothing. So anyone who can think the thing, anyone who can manifest it, yes, by thinking clearly, visualizing exactly how they want to see something, is who's going to win. because the technical barrier has been stripped away.
Yeah.
So all the top AI experts agree. I've asked them. I've talked to Jeremiah Ouyang and Robert Scoble and Charlene Lee and all these people, and they all agree that your ability to empathetically have a two-way conversation via active listening is what separates those people who are getting the value out of the AI versus not. It is not a technical tool. When the internet first came out, it was all about like programming and tools and features of different tools and these weird technical things. Now, all that technical stuff is stripped away. Instead of having to put the semicolons in the right way and learn to click here and click here and click there and say this magic phrase, that's all been taken away. So anyone who talks like that, they don't understand what's happening right now. They're just trying to get money out of you by confusing you. That's how you tell when someone is bullshit, when they try to confuse you and then try to ask money from you, right? Yeah. Especially if they don't make money. They should be making almost all their money off something other than selling courses and programs. That's right. Okay? So I know that whoever has real experiences, whoever creates the real content, we agree, is ultimately going to win because the AI is just able to do everything with the content, right? Yeah. And real content beats synthetic content because of the nature of the prompts and the context and all that. So whoever has the strongest, if you follow this logically, whoever has the strongest relationships and is able to think the mindset and imagine, not just like fake wishful thinking, but actually see with clarity where they want to go. Relationships and the clarity of the vision of where they want to go to manifest is who's going to win in the AI, and the creative people are going to win, not the programmers anymore. This winning in AI is not based on who has the most CPUs and the best programming skill, which actually is scaring most of Silicon Valley. Isn't that interesting?
I think my final question is I'd love for you to come and share some of these because it runs so counter to the narrative right now. Using AI, never have to lift a finger. And you're right, majority of these people are selling a pipe dream. It's like, it's a gold rush. We've seen that with NFTs, we've seen it with crypto. It all seems like, you don't have to do anything, you can make a lot of money, but usually it's always the people pushing this agenda that make the most money. What are some of the skills, the mindsets, the tools, the tactics, and the core foundations that you would love to share with some people? Love to get you to Asia, share some of these things, with folks. So what are some areas that you would love to cover on?
I think the foundation of who you are, what you stand for, is the key as the necessary ingredient to put in the AI. Because then the AI will be able to, you don't have to worry about every day there's a new AI tool, because here's what the foundation is. It is what you do, why you do it, who you do it with, the result that you achieve, provably. Not just like, I want to be a real estate millionaire. No, you've done it. What is the thing that you have done? Have you documented that? Have you interviewed these other people that have done the same thing? Do you have relationships with other mentors who've achieved certain things to give you advice in certain areas? When you're at the conference or at the mastermind or whatnot, have you built those relationships? If you have built those relationships and you have achieved some kind of success that you want to do on a larger scale to be able to create more value, not because you're just trying to create more income, but you want to create more impact somehow, but you've done these things and organized it and the structure that we call the topic wheel, then you can come to an AI workshop. And now we have magic because we have the necessary ingredients and we can 10x that. If you don't have those ingredients, no amount of magic is going to overcome the fact that you don't have clarity in your relationships, in the core value that you provide to that core customer in the way that you do that core thing. If you have that clarity, the AI is now like this army of very intelligent VAs for you. Yeah. That's the way to think about it. That's the mindset. And AI is, we like to say you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Take. You must start with the good ingredients, and then like Bill Gates said in The Road Ahead, technology is a multiplier, right? If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where you want to go, the car having more horsepower doesn't matter. And I know it sounds crazy, but it really is a mindset thing of understanding if you were to die today, I know it sounds morbid, but what would you record, for your funeral message? What would you say at your you were to die, people come to the funeral, and they play this one message from Melvin So. What would it say? You have to be able to answer that question. It sounds weird to think like, why is Dennis asking, what would you say at your funeral? Like, what is he, like thinking about death? No. You're thinking about your legacy now. And I learned this from my friend Caleb Williams, who's this expert financial advisor. He sells life insurance, but he is very smart when it comes to like figuring out your legacy and your why for people who are already very successful. If you go to YouTube and you search Caleb Williams funeral words or something, he has a 5-minute video and he explains how to think about, because you think about it like, I'm so busy doing this, and I really thought about like if I were to die, how do people remember me? What do they say? What message do I want to give people? If you can answer that question, then you can tell ChatGPT what you want now and help achieve that thing that's in your head, so it converts from a dream to a goal.
Wow, I think this is amazing. I think the real benefit here of listening to someone like Dennis is, there are so many young folks out there, and all they teach are just tools. And if you want that, you can buy tons of courses, a lot of YouTube videos on tools. But it really is the thinking. Thinking that using AI is an amplifier. 0 times 1,000 is still 0. But 10 times 1,000 is 10,000. So at the end of the day, it's like, what do you bring to the table? As I listen to you, you can't make something out of nothing. And what I think the biggest problem in the AI game now is people are promising that they can make everything out of nothing. And I think that's a big problem. And I think what you're saying is that if you bring something authentic, you bring something, you can make a lot of things. And I think that is just the art, science, philosophy, theory of AI. Really appreciate this, man. And guys, I love to invite Dennis over to Asia to share on this. The reason is not just because he's so 30 plus years in the game, knows a lot, speaks with the highest level people, but also just the thinking, the depth of wisdom, experience is really different than if you listen to a 21-year-old who just discovered ChatGPT like a year ago. So you guys like this kind of stuff, let me know below. And and we really look forward to putting something on with Dennis.
I'm always looking at the comments to see what you guys are doing. I'm always learning from everybody. It changes so fast.
Take care, guys.